All right, Coach Levinsky, after a long layoff, the women's bowling team is back in action this weekend. It's kicking off the spring portion of the schedule, heading to Jonesboro, Arkansas for the Midwinter Invitational. So talk about the preparation leading into that after the long layoff.
Yeah, we've only had a couple days of practice coming off the break. Students arrived on Sunday back onto campus. A little rusty the first 15 minutes on Monday, but really settled down very quickly. We worked very diligently over the last 2 days to become prepped for this specific tournament, be ready for the pattern that will be used and matching up equipment. I've drilled some new equipment to have another option in the bag for everyone. So I feel really very positive and confident that we'll have a strong performance. It's apparent that people practiced well and put in some time over the break during their voluntary time. And we did have a couple players bowl in the Team USA Trials National Amateur Championship this last week. So all in all, I feel very good. People came in much more prepared this year than last year. So we're looking forward to going to Arkansas with a strong field, and we've got some great matchups as we want to have nationally ranked teams. We'll be bowling 3 of the top 5 teams in the country in pool play on Friday and Saturday. We also have number 9 Tulane, number 11 Central Missouri, Maryville, and Louisiana Tech in the top 20. So we're looking very much forward to this tournament.
And obviously the fall went really well for the women's team in its second year, breaking into the national polls for the first time in program history. But how do you think the team can carry that momentum of a strong fall after a 2-month layoff into the spring?
Well, I think often when you take that break, you come back more hungry and prepared. There's not really a lot of time till the East Coast Conference Championship and that automatic qualifier tournament. So I think we have less than 3 months, really about 2.5 months until that event, which is the end, March 23rd through the 25th. I feel most of the time when coming off that the end is much closer and people realize really how quickly things will turn around. That leads to a lot of motivational fuel to train with more focus, be more diligent in the strength and conditioning, and I really feel that we will work hard, like always, to be prepared for that, working through these tournaments, being prepared for each tournament. And I think everybody's very hungry and motivated right now. They're very confident in our own abilities. We've identified some things through data analysis that we can get better at, and everybody's motivated to improve in those areas. We had a very strong Baker double percentage in the first half of the year, 6th in the country. And if we can clean up some things in regard to some improved spare areas, will be very difficult in any match that we go against anyone. And I think that will give us the confidence to move forward and be ready for that tournament.
Well, and talk about the strength of the field this weekend. You mentioned that right off the bat in that first day in pool play, but elaborate a little bit further on the strength of the field and maybe what kind of the expectations and goals for the team this weekend.
Yeah, Tulane added late, which was good. Most of their team competed in the Team USA Championship, the National Amateur Championship last week too. They're coming in, they're top 10 now. They're getting stronger and stronger. We'll be going up against them. This is the first time we've competed against them this season. We have number 2 McHenry, the defending national champion, Arkansas State number 3, number 5 Sam Houston State, and Central Missouri, who has been to the national championship tournament all but 1 year. So we've got those teams in the top 11 that are very, very strong. So anytime that you have that strength of the field, that's really how we design most of our schedule, is to be in the moment that we can compete with the best. Our goal is to get better and be more competitive against these strong teams. And like we bumped off number 4 Vanderbilt earlier in the season, we're getting stronger and more competitive. So we want to bowl well and have them bowl well and us be competitive. I think that's the ideal situation as you get to have a more mature program and a deeper program. Then that means we're more competitive anytime we go on the lane. And I'd like to see us be more consistently competitive at a higher level. Our good is good, but sometimes we lose focus and we're not as competitive as we should be. And I want to make sure that each tournament, as we go forward into the East Coast Conference Championship tournament, that we get more consistently competitive. Meaning that we're making less mistakes that are driven by our own mistakes. Spare shooting, for example. We're certainly striking at a very good rate.
And you talked about the kind of a sense of urgency that, there's not really that much time, as much as you think, between now and the ECC championships. Now, after the Midwinter Invitational ends, you only have 4 regular season tournaments left until the East Coast Conference tournament. So kind of how important is it to get off to a good start and keep that momentum going from the fall this weekend?
I just think it's important to get off to a good start for our own belief in what we're doing. If we're going to have a solid tournament this weekend, and we're just getting started in the second half after a 54-day competitive break, and we get off to a good start, I think that I always like to call it motivational fuel, will just burn red hot. I think that if we can have a strong performance this weekend, this early in the second half of the season, everybody is going to believe more. That confidence is going to lead into better practices, cleaner minds in training, and just keeping a laser focus on that end product. We strive for excellence in March and April. We say that all the time. So I think if we have a strong outing this weekend, that's going to lead to much more of a drive to work really hard earlier in the first half, knowing that we're already having a good start to the second half of the season. We're going to want to keep that going forward. Last year, we got better and better and better as we went through to March. I expect nothing less than that this year as well. We've identified some really key things that everybody's focused on. We're identifying and tracking specific data every training session, and I think that level of focus and commitment to the day-to-day it'll transform this team into a higher producing bowling program.